What is up, everybody? Hope all is well. Today in this video we are building this beautiful badass American flag. Stick around. Step one, we need some lumber. For this flag we are just using regular old 2x4 lumber. You can get these things anywhere. These ones happen to be 8-footers. Ideally, if you were making this at home, I would go by two 10-footers. This flag is going to be 40 inches long. So with a 10-footer, you can get 3 pieces out of it. I just happen to have these 8-footers here, so that's what I'm going to use. We're going to take these 2x4s, cut them in 40-inch lengths. After that, we will take it over to the table saw and we will cut 3/4-inch thick pieces out of these. So the plan, if you guys were using 10-footers, you would get 4 pieces out of each 40-inch piece. So you get 4, 8, 12, 24 strips. And 24 strips would be plenty to get one flag done. You'd probably have a couple extra. You guys might be thinking, well, that's way more than we need. Well, not necessarily, because with this modern lumber these days, when you cut it and you rip it, some of it just warps and stuff like that. So some of it probably won't be usable, so it's nice to make some extras. So for myself, I got these 2 8-footers and one little piece here. So I'm going to be cutting it close on mine, but I do have more 2x4s in the back shed. Okay, I'm going to start cutting my 40-inch pieces. All right, guys, here they are, 40-inch 2x4s. Next stop, table saw. Oh, by the way, guys, it is a beautiful, almost summer day here in Wisconsin. I believe it is June 17th today. It's my stepdaughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Heidi. A balmy 85, humid. It's kind of nice after a long winter. Unfortunately, probably gonna do some camping this weekend, and it's looking like temps 94, 95 degrees. With heat index over 100, so we'll see how that works out. I built our camper van there for about temperatures from the high 20s into the low 90s, so we will definitely be pushing it in that. But let's get back to this flag, come on. Okay, we're gonna run these through and make 3/4-inch strips. Check it out, guys. This is what we like to call man glitter. Whew, getting a bit warm out here, guys. So, look at this, 3/4 by 40-inch strips. I have 20 of these right here. This flag I built last winter. It is the prototype. Actually, I might have built this 2 winters ago. Time flies, guys. But you can see what we're kind of going for. Actually, you guys already seen what this flag looks like in the thumbnail, but I still don't know what it looks like. Might be a bit noisy. I got the fan rolling in here. It is 85 degrees, getting a bit hot out here. But now what I want to do is I want to find basically 13 of the best strips. And that will be the face of my flag. Basically, I'm just looking for nice straight pieces that look good. And we will find the 13 best and go from there. So here's the 13 strips laid out. We will now turn this into a really cool flag. So there's one little problem with these flags, guys. Well, they're a wood flag. It is all wood. And what does wood like to do? It likes to move around. So over the years, I've been trying to find different ways to combat against that. And I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I will kind of share some of that with you guys. So one thing you can do, you can kind of watch the grains on the ends of the pieces. And you kind of want them opposite of the piece next to it, if possible. And that will hopefully keep it from doing a warp after you build it. Like for instance, I don't know if I like how these two kind of tie into each other. So I might take this one and flip it around so now they are kind of opposite of each other. Another reason I might come into issues where these things start warping, you can see there's gaps in between the pieces. So you like to clamp them together nice and tight. But if you start clamping too tight, it'll start wanting to give it a curve. So you don't want to overdo your clamping. I don't necessarily mind the spaces between the stripes here. I actually got a little trick for that I will show you later on. But as you can see, these are nice, flat, freshly ripped pieces. And on this flag, you can see all the gouges and cuts cut out of these stripes. So that's what we got to do to them. And I'll tell you what, if I recall correctly, yeah, I think it's been 2 winters since I did that. It is not a fun job. Let's put it that way. Basically what I got to do, I use this and I kind of just drag this around, cut gouges out of it, take random cuts and put them throughout the piece and just kind of mar this thing up. This should give you a kind of an idea of what I'm going for. So I got to do this on 13 pieces. So I'll get back to you guys in a second, but this is going to take me a while. Check it out. We got everything marred up, chopped up, looking rough, just how we like it. I'm actually going to carry these outside. Going to take the palm sander to the edges, just get some of the rough stuff off of it before we start painting. And when I say before we start painting, I mean me. I don't know why I say we. Maybe because I'm bringing you guys along with this project. Time to get set up for paint, guys. See here, I made this fancy little jig a while back. I'll kind of show you how I use it here. It's pretty simple, really. I use this for the blue section of the flag where the stars go. I just take the pieces and I slide them into here like so. And that'll be 7 pieces. Everything beyond this point will be painted blue, but first, I am actually going to make a cut right here. I just take the trusty handsaw and I run it along here and give a little line. I just come to realize I actually have another jig I use for this purpose, but I took it apart. This one was made for just painting, but it's gonna have to work this time. You can see the cut line there. So of course, we will paint this side of that line blue. Now when it comes to painting, I am gonna do blue like normal, but I am gonna leave all what would normally be white, I'm just gonna leave it as plain wood. And as you can see, it has been torched, and I will be doing the same thing with this flag. So it'll be red, kind of natural wood, and blue. Same as the stars there, as you can see, we will chisel them out. It'll be the natural wood showing through instead of a white star. The problem I now have is, do I have the right paint? I got a little red on there, it kind of looks right. We got the dark kind of blue there. So before I put it on the actual flag, I'm going to paint a couple samples and make sure it's the right color before I put it on. There's a lot better way to do this. I got a bad feeling about this here. It's looking really pink. And I know when I originally bought paint for that flag, the first time I tried getting the right color red, it definitely had a pink hue to it. And I think that might be this one. So I think I gotta go search, see if I can find the other red, because I believe this is the wrong one. Definitely way too pink. Unless, of course, it dries the right color, which happens sometimes, but I think this is for sure the wrong color. So the one other can of newer red that I found in there, when it had the paint dab there on the top, it was kind of pinkish. So maybe this one is the right stuff. I'll have to test it out and see what color it dries, I guess. I'm just gonna paint 2 samples of this and see what we get after it dries. Check it out, guys. A frickin' wood tick. These things are nasty. I'm gonna show you how we take care of them. We got a flat top tick, guys. Okay, let's try this out. Paint the sample on. That's the blue. Hopefully. And this red, I don't know, still looks pretty pink to me. I don't know, it might be alright. We will let it dry and see what happens. I just took a little lunch break and I decided there is a change of plans. I'm going to put these paint brushes away and I am going to spray paint this flag like I do all my other flags. The more I think about it, when I built that flag up there, it was like December, maybe January. So maybe I bought the hand paint so I could paint it inside the shop, because in January it is too cold to spray paint outside. But I know for sure if I spray paint, the colors will be exactly right. So all this paint shaking and all that stuff was all for naught. Alright guys, this is the ticket right here. This is Satin Midnight Blue. And this is Satin Colonial Red. Unfortunately, it's trying to rain out here, so let's see if I can get these things done. Actually, guys, another change of plan again. I think I'm gonna go ahead and torch all the pieces first and then spray paint them afterwards. And I will torch it first for 2 reasons. 1, that's how I always do it. And 2, it's kind of raining out here. Oh yeah, I mentioned earlier that we might go camping this weekend. Well, that is canceled. It now is supposed to be like 98 degrees, and that's way too freaking hot. Honestly, this was not a fun process. It takes a long time to burn all these chips. I taped all of these. I screwed up. I only had to tape 4 of them, as 4 of them are getting some red paint. Can't always be perfect, come on. It is finally starting to look like a flag here. Looking pretty cool. I am gonna recut the line between the blue and the red. Just for the hell of it. Nothing major. Looks good. You've already seen me sand these pieces after I cut all these grooves out of them. But now what I want to do is go back through and sand everything again. I want to hit all the edges. I want to pull some paint off of these edges. Maybe fade the torch look a little bit. Maybe fade some of the paint up a bit. I really want this to look rustic, beat down and worn out. I usually like to do my sanding outdoors as it can get pretty dusty, but it's frickin' raining out. So I'm debating if I want to do it up here in the shop or not. It doesn't make a ton of dust, but enough. I'll just set up out here on the edge of the garage. Kind of give you an idea what we're going for. Took some of the paint off the edges there. Took some of the paint off the face. Just trying to give it a beat down look. The only thing I'm wondering, should I hit these edges down here as well? I'm not sure yet. We got all the edges sanded. We got a lot of the face sanded. The blue face still needs to be sanded, but I am actually going to put the flag together first, and then I am going to spray paint white stars on here, and I will chisel out all 50 stars, and after I do that, I might burn the stars, and then I will come back and give this a face sanding before it is done. So yeah, even though it's finally looking like something, there's still a lot of work to be done. This is the part of the process where these extra strips come into play. This is what we will use to hold the flag together. But first, we gotta flip this flag over. So when you're flipping it, you gotta act like you're flipping it like this. So you just take your bottom piece and you flip it so far, like so, like so. There's been a few times I've done this wrong. Not sure I'm doing it right as we speak, but I hope we are. I'll hand it over so I can take a better look. Make sure everything looks all right. Yes, sir. We did it right. I'm going to clamp this bottom piece. We are clamping this bottom piece to the table. Hold it in place. I've never checked this table if it's square. I hope it's square. I got it all laid out. You got to clamp down. Like I said, I clamp this bottom piece to the table, and I use these two boards and push the other pieces into this one to tighten up the joints. Then I clamp it down over there. Then I kind of tapped everything so we have a nice straight edge here. So everything looks good and square and ready to go. So we're going to start attaching this flag together using these backer boards. I will cut them here first, and we will glue and screw them into each stripe and hold it all together. By the way, around here, I am an equal opportunity tool user. We got Ryobi, we got Milwaukee, what else do we got? Makita, of course we got a DeWalt, and we got some Porta cables and other stuff back here. I've just never been one of them kind of brand loyal guys, I guess. I'm usually buying tools when they are the best deal because I'm cheap. See how this goes. So it's a bit short on either end here, which is what I want. I am also going to hold it in just a little bit on this side. I'm just going to lay this out, mark it. I am using 1¼ drywall screws. 1¼ usually works best when you're screwing 2 3/4 inch boards together. And I will also put some glue down as well. Something I just thought of right now. I'll probably spray this. Maybe I'll use the dark glue right there. And then if this wood splits apart, you will not see this sticking through, as it will be hidden. Let's drill out these holes. I used the blue on that. I think I'm gonna go find me some black. Not sure the blue is gonna quite cut it. Just to be on the safe side. When I started this flag, I thought everything was going really good, really fast, but now it seems like everything's bogging down a little bit. Enjoying the view of the rain though from the shop. By the way, these side pieces are 19 5/8 inches long. Now after I drill the holes, before I put the screws in, I usually take like a 3/8 bit here, put it in the drill, I got it on 2-speed, but I also got it in reverse. And I just find the holes and I give it a little indentation like that. Of course, this is the wrong side. It will be on this side. So we'll take one of these holes. I will do that to all the holes. That gives it a nice spot for the screw head to sit in, and it should help it from cracking and stuff like that. As you can see, this piece is all done, and we will start screwing it. You see that? This piece is straight, but the table is warped, so there's a gap there. Anyway, before screws, we need some glue. Not sure how well glue works over spray paint, but it is what it is. We got the edges screwed in. Now we got to do the top and the bottom. Again, just another 1x. And what I usually do, I take on a table saw and I rip a little groove in here. And that helps for the piece when you hang it. The screw, I usually hang it with 2 screws, usually sits right in that groove and it holds it nice and tight to the wall. And it will stop it from falling off the wall as well. There is the groove I just ripped, about 1/4 inch in. Check it out, guys. I got a carpenter approved Band-Aid here. No, I didn't cut myself with a saw or anything like that. I was just walking in the back room and I hit my hand right into a workbench and cut it open. And I'm going to put one more strip right in the middle, tie it all together, and hold this nice and flat. I will cut this, it looks like 16 5/8, which makes sense. 19 5/8 minus 3 inches. So we will start with that. Let's find the center. So we are at 40. So center is 20. I'm going to go 3/4 inch from either side of that center mark. And you can see where your piece goes. 20 inches. 3/4 one way, 3/4 the other. And that will be where your strip sits. 16 5/8 fits in there nice and snug. I will mark out the holes again, as we will be screwing this down like we did the sides. The trusty old Ryobi. Actually, not that trusty. The bit often likes to fall out when I'm doing this. Beautiful. And we'll do the 3/8 bit, like I showed you guys before. Put that in there, put it on high speed, put it on reverse, and just put a nice little spot there for the head of the screw to sit. Alright, let's glue it and screw it. Voila! But we're still not done. I got a couple more steps for the back of this thing. One of the steps is I'm gonna drill a hole through here and screw it right into there to tie all this together on both sides. Just like that. The last step of the back, honestly, I'm not even sure I should show people this, but this is one of my tricks, and it is an awesome trick. So I got this black roofing paper here, and I am actually gonna cover the inside here with this black stuff. Because like I said earlier, this is wood. Wood likes to move around. Sometimes you get bigger gaps in between the stripes, and sometimes you can see through those gaps. And maybe if you have like a white wall behind it, you will see the white popping through from the front of the flag. And that kind of looks like crap if you ask me. So to stop that from happening, you cover this stuff with a black backer. And if that wood spreads apart, all you will see is black, and it'll look like a shadow. You won't even notice that there's a gap. So for that, I'm just gonna measure the 2 squares on either side. We will cut this to fit, and I will staple this in there. And this is how the back of the flag looks. Lots of screws, black paper. There is also a groove in there for hanging the piece. So, making progress. The afternoon went a bit slow. I'm kind of getting burnt out for the day. Tomorrow I gotta spray paint the stars and chisel all them out. So that's going to be quite a bit of work involved there as well. For you guys, I will be back in 2 seconds. For me, I'm going to cut it short for the night and be back tomorrow. And boom, just like that, it is another new day. Next step, the funnest part of the whole project, and I am kidding when I say that. I am going to paint some white stars on here, and then I am going to chisel all those stars out. By hand, of course. If you guys are building one of these for yourself, this is going to be the hardest part, because you're going to have to make a template for your stars. I made this many years ago, and I've been using it over and over again. I've probably built 100 flags with this template. So you're going to have to figure out how to lay out all of these. I use like a piece of poster board here. Works good. Draw them out. Cut them out with a razor blade, and then you have one for good. I just want to make sure this is centered. And just like that, now I gotta take it back into the shop and chisel out every one of those stars by hand. got a whopping 4 rows done. 5 more to go. Just chiseling these stars alone, it's probably going to be an easy 2 hours, maybe a little more. Finally got those freaking things chiseled out. Man, that is a pain in the butt, let me tell you. But look how awesome it looks. Pretty freaking cool. Next thing I want to do, hit it with the sander one last time. And one final thing. Come on, later. What's going on here? It's a bit windy, but I want to hit these stars. Actually, I better bring this back inside. It's too windy out here. Let's try this again. So, like I was trying before, I'm going to torch some of these stars up, get a little burnt color in there. I don't know, guys. Yes, I put a lot of time into this thing, but it is looking pretty freaking awesome. But there are 2 more steps before this thing is done. We are going to give this flag a shot of some spray polyurethane. Usually I always do this stuff by hand, but with all these nooks and crannies and stuff like that, I thought I'd give this stuff a shot. I've used it before. It works pretty good. I still think applying it with a brush is the best way to go in most applications, but I want to try this for here. This water-based poly dries really fast. It looks like it's almost dry like a minute after I sprayed it. So we'll let it sit for a while, then I will come back and give it one more shot with this stuff. But first, I'm gonna go grab a little lunch, come back out. All right, I finished lunch. I put one more coat on this, and I'm gonna call it good. But there is one last step to do, and it is the most important step. But before the last step, let's get another look at this beautiful flag. Really loving how it turned out. Okay, to the most important last step. This will finally finish the piece off. Trusty old Sharpie. You gotta sign your art, folks. Not the best Sharpie in the world, apparently. I need some new Sharpies. Last but not least, we like writing the year on there. Voila! There it is, guys. All right, guys. That's gonna about do it for today's video. This thing started out as a couple 2x4s, and it turned out as one big, beautiful, badass flag. If you guys made it this far into the video, I appreciate it as always. But I got stuff to do, and I'm sure you do too. So take care, everybody. We will see you all next time.